You said what? You said what?
The main way that the enemy gets at us when it comes to confronting our past is through our heart, which the Bible talks about our heart, but it's really about our mind. The enemy will try everything to throw us off in who we are in the Lord through our mind. So you may say, okay, I know I'm a new creature in Christ Jesus, but if you're having a hard time with not believing fully that who you are in the Lord, or the enemy will try and say, no, you're not a new creature in Christ Jesus. You're your past. You've done so this and this and this and this, or because you've done this, there's no way for you to go forth and do that. It's very important that we renew our mind. The important thing is to understand when it comes to renewing your mind is that your past definitely does influence your present thoughts. So say for instance, and this is just, my personal testimony or story, but when I decided to give my life to the Lord, for real, when I was about 19 years old, when I was in college, even though I had my heart made up, like I really wanted to live for the Lord, because I had challenges in believing who God has called me to be, and even confronting the lies of the enemy in my past, I found myself couldn't really comprehending that I was a woman of God. So I would, do the things the Lord was prompting me to do, but it was like no matter what, I felt like I was still that lying, cheating, fornicating person, and that I couldn't truly be who I was called to be in God. And it wasn't until I confronted the things of my past, confronted the false narratives, that I was able to have the freedom to move forward, to begin to truly do the things that God has called me to do and not be limited by my mind. And one of my favorite verses in that season, and still to this day, is Romans 12:1 and 2, because I feel like it sums up the challenges that we have as, God's people, but then God gives us a solution. So Romans 12:1 and 2, and this is me paraphrasing, but it just kind of talks about your life being a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is our reasonable service, and that we should not be conformed to this world, but that we'll be transformed by the renewing of our mind, so that we can prove that good and that perfect and acceptable will of God concerning our life. So once again, that goes back and talks about our identity in Christ Jesus, but to really walk fully in that, there has to be a renewal of our minds, so that we're not reflecting this world, our past, carnal things, but we're walking fully in the Spirit. So how do we do that? How do you confront your past knowing that you have a new identity in Christ Jesus? I'm glad you asked. Number